So, what is environmental problems? Environmental problems are issues that harm the natural world and affect the human life, animals, plants, and ecosystems. These problems are mostly caused by human activities such as pollution, deforestation, and overpopulation. Understanding these issues is important so we can protect the planet and ensure a sustainable future. One major environmental problem is deforestation, which means cutting down large areas of forests for activities like logging, farming, and building roads or houses. Deforestation happen due to illegal logging, farming, expansion, and constructions. So the effects of deforestation includes loss of habitats for wildlife, increase in carbon dioxide leading to climate change, soil erosion and flooding, and lastly the loss of biodiversity. So that's the effects of deforestation. Or this is another major leading environmental problems which is pollution. So pollution caused by industrial emissions, vehicle exhaust, chemical waste, plastic litter, it affects air and water contamination, health problems, damage to wildlife and ecosystems. To prevent pollution, improve waste management, promote recycling, and use eco-friendly technologies. So the causes of pollution is factories, too many factories nowadays, and vehicles, burning trash, smoke from industries and power plants, industrial waste, sewage discharge, oil spills, and improper waste disposal. So the effects of pollution is respiratory diseases, acid rain, climate change, poor visibility and smog, waterborne diseases, death of aquatic life, and unsafe drinking water.
Overpopulation. Overpopulation means there are too many people living in one place and there are not enough resources like food, water, or space for everyone. Effects. Resource depletion. Natural resources like water, food, fuel, and are used faster than they can be replaced. Second, more pollution. More pollution, more people to create more air, water, and land pollution. Increased waste. A larger population produces more trash than systems can handle. Higher energy consumption. More energy is needed for homes, transport, and industries. Other leading environmental problems, waste management problems. Waste management problems, improper waste disposal contributes to pollution on land and water. Causes. Plastic pollution. Plastic waste does not decompose easily and spreads in the environment. Second, landfill overflow. Too much waste fills landfills beyond their capacity. Third, take toxic waste from factories. Harmful chemicals are released into soil and water. Effects. Health problems. Pollution can cause disease and breathing issues. Soil and water contamination. Harmful substances damage land and water sources. Death of marine animals. Animals ingest or get trapped in waste, especially plastic.
Good evening, everyone. Now, I will explain my part of this report. Let's start with soil degradation. Soil degradation occurs when the quality of soil decreases due to harmful human activities. Essentially, this means that healthy, fertile soil becomes less productive and loses its ability to support plant life and ecosystems. This is a critical issue because soil is the foundation of our food production and natural ecosystems. Now, let's look at what causes soil degradation and its effects. Starting with the causes. The overuse of fertilizer. This is a major contributor. While fertilizers help plants grow, excessive use damages soil structure and contaminates groundwater. Mining. Operations strips away topsoil and leave behind toxic chemicals. Waste dumping. It introduces harmful pollutants into the soil. And deforestation. It removes tree roots that hold soil together, making it vulnerable to erosion. Now, these are the effects. We see poor crop production, which threatens food security. There's a significant loss of nutrients, meaning the soil can no longer provide what plants need to grow. These combined effects create a vicious cycle where degraded soil produces less food, affecting communities that depend on agriculture for their livelihoods. Now, moving on to the next slide. Loss of biodiversity. Now, biodiversity loss means the disappearance of plants, animals, and microorganisms. Every species plays a role in maintaining ecological balance, and when they disappear, entire ecosystems can collapse. This isn't just about losing individual species, it's about losing the intricate web of life that supports all living things, including humans. Now, moving on to the causes and effects. Let me start with the causes. Habitat destruction. Habitat destruction is the primary cause. When we clear forests, drain wetlands, or convert natural areas for agriculture or urban development, species lose their homes. Pollution. It contaminates air, water, and soil, making environments uninhabitable for many species. Overhunting and overfishing. It deplete animal population faster than they can reproduce. And lastly, climate change. Climate change is altering habitats so rapidly that many species cannot adapt quickly enough to survive. And moving to the effects. We have imbalance in ecosystem, which is when one species disappears, it affects predators, prey, and competitors. And then extinction of species at rates never seen before in human history. Now, next, loss of natural resources that humans depend on, from medicine derived from plants to pollination services that give us our food. These environmental problems are interconnected and urgent. Addressing them requires immediate action from individuals, communities, and governments worldwide. Thank you.
Greetings, I am Janine de Lucasada. Why this problem matters? This environmental issue affect human health. Hotter weather cause more health-related illness and death. It also make it easier for germs disease to spread. Food and water supply. Extreme weather like huge floods ruins crops. Crops. This makes it harder to find food and make grocery more expensive. Weather and climate pattern. This look at the difference between weather. Human activity is currently opposing the Earth's natural balance. The stability of ecosystem. Climate change is destroying the homes of plants and animals. Many animals are being forced to move to new places to survive. And for future generation, children and those born in the future will suffer the most. They will grow up in a world with more natural disasters and less healthy food. To environmental problem. Individual action. This means that every single person matters, even small things you do every day, like picking up litter or using a reusable bag, add up to a big difference when millions of people do them. reduce, reuse, and recycle. Reduce by less stuff and use less packaging, while reuse is using things more than once. And recycle, turn old materials like paper, plastic, and glass into new production. Plant trees. Trees are like lungs of our planet. They breathe in the bad they breathe in the bad air, carbon dioxide, and breathe out the clean air, oxygen, that we need. They also provide homes for animals. Educational programs. This means teaching people about nature when children and adults learn how the earth works and why is it in danger. They are more likely to care for it and make better choice. Conserve water, electricity. Water, turn off the lap while brushing your teeth or fix leaky pipes. Electricity is turning off light when you leave a room and use energy saving light bulbs for safety. Protecting forests and marine areas. This means keeping nature safe from destruction. We need to stop people from cutting down so many trees, like from the forest, and keep our ocean and reef marine areas clean and free from overfishing so wildlife can survive. Environmental problems are urgent and widespread, but they can be solved through cooperation, awareness, and responsible actions. Protecting the environment ensure a safe and healthy planet for the future generation. The conclusion emphasized that while environmental problems are serious and happening everywhere, they are not impossible to solve. By taking responsible action today, we ensure that the planet remains safe and healthy for the people who will live here in the future.
So, what is climate change? Climate change refers to a long-term changes in global temperatures, weather patterns, and natural system, while climate change can occur naturally and rapid changes happening today are mainly caused by human activities. So, climate change, means long time changes in Earth temperature and weather pattern. So, it includes hotter or colder, and then colder temperature, then stronger storm and changes in rainfall. So climate change can happen naturally, but today it is happening faster because of human activities. So there are causes of climate change. So there are two types of climate change. First, natural causes. So natural causes, kay example is volcanic eruption. First, volcanic eruption. So volcanoes release ash and gases. So muna siya makakos og like asthma nga naka ng iyahang ash, and then so into the air. So malanghap nimo ang mga gas niya, so makakos na siya og asthma, and that can block sunlight. So kanang mura siya mungit-ngit siya, and then change the climate for a short time. So for example, like a big volcano eruption can cause colder temperature for a few months. And then next example is oceanic currents. So oceanic currents move warm and cold water around the world, affecting weather. So, like for example, when ocean currents can cause heavy rains in some areas. And then next is solar variations. So solar variations is changes in um, sun's active effect, how much heat reaches Earth. Like for example, more sunspot can slightly increase Earth temperature. Okay. So second, human causes. So first is burning fossil fuels. So using coal, oil, and gas release gases that trap heat in the air. So like for example, smoke sa mga trucks, sa line factories, inana. So nag-increase na siya of global warming. And then second, deforestation. Cutting trees reduces the number of plants that absorbs carbon dioxide. So, if kabantay mo nang sa mga city gani kasagaran gipamputol nila ang mga kahoy ing ana, so ato ang ma-feel kay init kaayo, like wala na kaayoy hangin ing ana tungod kay gipang putol na ang mga kahoy. And then industrial pollution. Factories release harmful gases into the atmosphere. Like for example, like kanang mga factory smoke and pollution warm the earth. And for agriculture. So fourth kay agriculture, farming activities um, release methane and change land use. So for example, like kanang mga cows, ang cows kay nagproduce og mga methane gas that adds a climate change also. And then lastly kay waste generation. Landfills produce greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases. So garbage in landfills produce greenhouse gases, like for example, trash release methane gas into the air. So in short, climate change happens because of both natural events and human both both no. In short, climate change happens because of both natural events and human activities, but humans are main reason it is why it is happening faster today, or why climate change happening faster today. Thank you.
Effects of climate change. Environmental effects. Climate change has a direct impact on the natural environment. First, global temperatures are rising, making the earth warmer than before. This increase in temperature causes glaciers and polar ice caps to melt, which leads to rising sea levels. As a result, coastal areas are more prone to flooding. Climate change also causes stronger typhoons, hurricanes, and storms because warmer oceans provide more energy for these weather events. In addition, we experience extreme droughts and heat waves which affect water supply and agriculture. Lastly, many plants and animals are unable to adapt to these changes, leading to a loss of biodiversity, and some species may become endangered or extinct due to habitat destruction. Next, social effects. The environmental changes brought by climate change directly affect people and communities. One major effect is the threat to food and water supply. Droughts, floods, and unpredictable weather make farming difficult, which can lead to food shortages. Climate change also causes health problems such as heat stroke during extreme heat and the spread of diseases due to warmer temperatures and flooding. Many people also experience loss of homes because of floods, storms, and rising sea levels. This forces families to relocate, resulting in increased poverty and migration, especially in vulnerable communities. Next, economic effects. Climate change also has serious economic consequences. Natural disasters can cause damage to infrastructure, such as roads, bridges, houses, and schools. Repairing these structures requires a large amount of money. Agriculture is also affected, leading to lower agricultural productivity, which impacts farmers' income and food prices. Lastly, government and communities face higher disaster recovery costs, as more funds are needed for rescue operations, rebuilding, and long term recovery. In conclusion, climate change affects the environment, society, and economy all at once. This is why addressing climate change is important, not only to protect nature, but also to ensure people's safety and economic stability.
Hello everyone, I am Gretchen Salarda and we have here the solution to climate changes. First is individual action. These are things we do at home. They might seem small, but when millions of people do them, they create a massive rate of changes. However, first is to conserve electricity. Every time we leave a light on an empty room, we're wasting energy. So be mindful that every time you leave the room, turn off the lights. And here is the reduce, reuse, recycle. We have here, this is that we are recycle. It stops us from making new stuff that requires factors, smokes, and energy. Third is plant trees. These trees are like Earth's lungs. They breathe in the bad air and breathe out the good air. Then reduce waste, especially food waste. When food rots in a landfill, it creates gases that makes the earth warmer. We have here the second solution to climate changes, community action. Community action. This is when we step outside our homes and work with our neighborhood, friends, and classmates. Clean up drives. This is this isn't just about picking up trash. It's about protecting our local water and soil. It shows that we care about the space we share. We have here the tree planting campaigns. One person planting a tree is great, and a whole school planting 50 trees is a forest. This helps cool down our entire neighborhood. Environmental education. This is what we are do. This is what I am doing right now. By talking about it, I am leveling up your knowledge.
Moving forward, we need to understand adaptation and mitigation. First, let me explain what mitigation is. Mitigation focuses on reducing the causes of climate change, which means lowering emissions. This includes actions like transitioning to renewable energy resources, reducing our use of fossil fuels, and implementing cleaner technologies in industries and transportation. On the other hand, we have adaptation. Adaptation is about adjusting to impacts of climate change, such as building flood barriers. This means preparing for the respond preparing for the and responding to the changes that are already happening or will happen in the future. Examples include developing drought resistant crops, creating early warning systems for extreme weather, and deciding infrastructure that can withstand rising temperature and sea levels. Both mitigation and adaptation are essential. We need to reduce emissions to prevent further damage while also preparing for the changes we can no longer avoid. Now, moving on. Um, why climate change matter? The answer is very straightforward, really. So, climate change affects everyone. It threatens the environment, human life, global economies, and future of the planet. Preventing further damage is essential for protecting life on Earth. This isn't a problem for future generations only. It's affecting us right now, from extreme weather events to food and water insecurity, and impacts are already visible around the world. Every action we take today, whether it's reducing our carbon footprint or supporting sustainable policies, contribute to protecting our planet and ensuring a livable future for all. Then now we're moving to the conclusions. As we conclude today's presentation, let me leave you with this important message. Climate change is one of the most serious challenges facing the world today. Through global cooperation, responsible leadership, and everyday action, we can still slow down its impact and protect the planet for future generations. Each of us has a role to play, whether it's making us sustainable choices in our daily lives, advocating for environmental policies, or educating others about these issues. Our collective efforts matter. The challenges are interconnected and urgent, but they are not insurmountable if we act now. Thank you for your attention and good night.